Hi, Frank Burns here. You're probably wondering what's different about this interviewing skills course than the other interviewing skills courses you might choose. Well, first of all, it's about more than information. On a lot of courses you get information, and sometimes really good information, but it doesn't really change your results or change your life. This is a workshop, or a series of workshops, which means you'll get an opportunity to explore the skills and strategies, to apply them, practice them, get feedback, and have models for continuous improvement. In terms of what's special about this particular interviewing skills course, is it's about making that human connection with people so they'll trust you, about winning them over so they'll open up and give you everything. And finally, having a methodical preparation so that you do everything well and your strategies are in place. Finally, you'll be invited to join a community of investigators and auditors like you to share best practices and learnings, to bounce ideas, to network with them, and get expert advice. And now for a quick guided tour of the 4 modules, the 4 half days that you'll experience with us. The first one is about making the human connection. When you make the human connection well, then you can manage the person in front of you with your verbal and nonverbal behavior, and they'll trust you. Bridging perspectives, knowing that the other person will have a different perspective than you, and how to recognize and bridge that perspective instead of trying to convince or persuade. Module 2 is about strategies. Things like note-taking more effectively and efficiently, about detecting deception or people being reluctant or withholding information, and what to do once you detect that. Do you need to confront them softly? If so, how to do it. Module 3 is about self-management and preparation. This is about managing yourself before you walk into the room, so that when you go in the room, you're confident, you're controlled, you project credibility, and the person wants to deal with you. Around persuasion, sometimes we need to win people over with persuasion, and how to do that skillfully. Most importantly, starting the methodical preparation, about seeing what kind of interview you want to do and how to start that preparation methodically. And then finally, the virtual interview, the cognitive interview, when that is effective, especially in terms of witnesses that have experienced something, and setting up the interview and practicing the interview. These are the ones you'll do online. You'll also have access to a portal of self-directed e-learning you can do at your own pace. This will include things like state, expectations, and self-fulfilling prophecies. How your state and your expectations are going to impact the person and the results you're going to get, and how to manage that. Reading the person in terms of their communication modes. Do they have a preference that's visual, auditory, kinesthetic, big picture, or details? Depending on what the preference is, if you read them, you can adapt your entire interview to get better results. Credibility. What are the 4 things that make you credible, and how can you project that even better? Your questioning strategy, how to devise that from beginning, when to ask certain questions, when not to, contaminated questions to avoid, specific questions at the beginning and the end. And finally, tough questions and bad news. In every negotiation and every interview, there's at least one tough question. And if it's a tough question in our minds, sometimes we communicate to the person, oh, here comes the tough question, and we get a difficult response, not because of the person in front of us, but because of us. How to manage that, and if you have to give them bad news, as we sometimes have to do in interviews, this might not turn out well for you, how do we give it in a way that we maintain their cooperation? And then finally, you'll be invited to join the community of other investigators and auditors. During the workshop, it'll give you an opportunity to test your plan for your interview with them, and after, it will be an opportunity to network, bounce ideas, share best learnings and practices. So I hope to see you there.